folks, Dr. Groovy here, Scott Grove of GroovyMusicLessons.com. What I'm going to show you today is a little bit of what I just showed you there, with all the reverb and so forth on acoustic like I like it. It's real ethereal sounding. It's going to show you just kind of accompanying yourself with open strings. Number one, so will be an E, A, and D for a few of these. But the main lesson is to teach you to not always land on, if you have, like, say, the open E going like I just did, you don't always have to land on a third or a fifth, the natural notes you would land on with the E under there. You don't have to land on those in any chord. The ear wants to take you there because it's just such a resolution. But I ended firstly on a suspended second, or just a second. And it sounds great. It doesn't sound unresolved. And now we're going to end on a 6. Okay, even though it's not where your ear wants to take you, both of those sound like they should. And okay, so that was ending on a root and ending on a fifth. And if you want to end on a third. Okay, but again, ending on the second is awesome. Again on the 6. Okay, so ending on any note in the major scales, what I'm going to be showing. I just heard a quicker version of what I just played. I was watching The Voice a minute ago, and just always have my guitar sitting right next to me. So that song, whatever it is, came up with that little melody and inspired me to come in here and do this. Just want to give you a few examples of how to sit around and play and incorporate those notes along with, you know, your 1s, 3s, and 5s. But just adding in the 2, the 6, the major 7, the suspended 4. All of these can sound extremely cool. We've heard them throughout our lives. Suspended 4 within, this happens more than anything at the end of songs where they tend to not finish, it sounds like, but just kind of float off. If you're like in D. So it's that suspended 4 that really does something. Instead of actually ending up there with a third under it. So teaching you that all those are okay and how to utilize them, and then go back into our 1s, 3s, and 5s. Okay? So if any of this interests you, let's just go ahead and do that and spend a little time with it, just so you're comfortable making music with yourself. And if you dig the whole reverb thing, maybe it's something that you'll be interested in, because it does have a place. If it has already sparked a little interest or lends itself to your ear, makes it groovy, maybe it'll inspire you to play this kind of a thing. Okay, So let's get ready to do this. Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and start with what I was just playing at the intro of the video. I do not use any picks when doing this stuff because you can't play two notes at the same time and skip strings. Okay, because we're going to be doing the low E string and the D string at the same time. Okay, so that's why we're doing this. We will incorporate the A string as well, and the G string, the B string, and the E string. But for right now, for that little inspired thing that I heard earlier, we'll go ahead and just start here and ending on the second, which if you're doing your theory, the second is going to be an F sharp on the D string, which will be your 4th fret. So we have that, the low E string and the 4th fret. And the 6th is always right above it, and here it's on the A string, 4th fret, and mixed in with the low E string. Okay, sounds slightly odd, but it sounds great together, don't it? And reverb. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do that. And we'll go ahead and play with other melodies and ideas more than anything. Just in the key of E while we have the open string ringing for us. Okay? And again, it's all about creating a vibe, plus learning how to play with your thumb and your fingers and create melodies, and again doing stuff that is out of the ordinary generally and leaves you kind of hanging in musical space and not resolving on the 3 major notes, the 1, 3, and the 5 that make up the typical major chord. Okay, so for this, okay, we're going to start on the B note on the A string, 2nd fret. Okay, so we're going to go hit the low E string, going from 2 to 4, hammer on with the low E string. Now we're just adding an E on the 2nd fret of the D, back to the 4th fret on the A string. Now we're going to slide up on the D string from the 4th fret to the 6th fret, back to the 4th, to the 2nd. Now we're going to go from 4, 6, 4. Okay, that's just a slide forward and backward. We only hit it once. Okay, so that is our suspended second. So in E we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's 1, 2. So we're hanging in the air on a suspended second. Okay, suspended means you just added a note. It just means add. So it would be E add 2. Okay, you'll see that written on some sheet music, and that's all it means. If it doesn't say E sus 2, it'll say E add 2. Okay, so watch my thumb is the best way I can say it for when I hit the low E. Okay, that's your job. Makes this go by quicker instead of me saying thumb, 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 thumb. first part. Now we have, so mostly the same going on the second time around. Okay. All we're leaving out is, so everything we did before and just leaving out that we did on the first time. So, and then doing a hammer on the A string from 2nd fret to the 4th fret, and we hit our thumb on the low E string on this one. Okay, so that's a 6th note, which is your C sharp, which is also your relative, would be a minor if we were playing a minor. Okay, basically the exact same notes in the scale. Actually, they are the same if you know your theory. Okay, so we are not resolving on anything. We are doing the notes that are in the scale that we just do not normally relate to resolving on. We would want to go up to the 3rd, okay, which would be the 6th fret on the D string, is where we normally want to go to, and going to the 2nd fret on the A string, that's your 5th. That's where we would normally want to go, even if we were picking out these notes to play. We would want to hear those. Okay, it just seems natural to, even though you hit the suspended 2nd there, to want to go back to just the 1 or the E, or you want to go back and hit the B note on the A string. Of course you still can. It's what it's all about here. Play the notes that sound good, but listen to the ones that shouldn't, that are normally passing notes. Okay, the notes you hit to get from one to another, but you never really stop. They just happen to. Okay, I hit an A, okay, and should it be there? Okay, I'm hitting the E. Should the A be there? Why not? Okay, the B, which I'm playing now, is what you would normally want to go for. But if you hit that A, okay, I'm on the G string, by the way. But stopping on that A just has a certain airiness about it. It stays in the air. It's just hanging there. And you want it to resolve, but if you let it just sit there, it creates a totally different mood than your normal playing. And that is extremely groovy. It falls right in line with. And okay, I actually hit the A string with it, which of course would work. Let me do that again. If you want to resolve, you go back to there. But leave that hanging in the air for songs that you want to do that. Don't avoid these notes just because. Again, these notes are the second, the suspended second, the 4, the 6, and the major 7. Okay, your major 7 is the one, if you were an E, it would be E flat with it. Okay, now in this case, you would want to make it something far away. You want to distance yourself from the low E to not something like E here. You don't want to. That's just pitiful. But if you put it in the right octave, it sounds great. So you can go ahead and get it happening here. It sounds better way up here. But for now, to show it to you, if we're going up. Okay, stopped on the E flat. Okay, so that's what makes those E major 7 chords sound so groovy. And I like to play those. Okay, so that's the major 7. Those are groovy, and especially when I'm playing soft and slow like this. This is where these work out best. Okay, so in the whole major thing, for those of you who are here to find out how to simply play along with what's going on here without these other things happening, the whole thing we did at the beginning. My bad. Okay, so we did E, F sharp, which is the second, the third, which is G sharp, or go to the first fret of the G string. And that went to the second fret of the G and up to the 4th fret of the G. So you have your major scale. Now the rest of that you can use will be the 2nd fret on your B string, 4th fret on your B string, and 5th fret on your B string. So you end up total with that same thing going on from 5 to 6 back to 5, okay, which is 2, 4, 2 on your A string, without hanging up in the air, as we said earlier. Okay, so if you're playing along, you just want major sounding stuff, the best thing in the world to use are Christmas songs to sound these things out. Okay, so let's say it'll work every single time, no matter what key you're playing it in. You can do it more correctly and change the root note underneath it, but you can play the whole melody line in almost every Christmas song there is by using just the major scale. Okay, so let's go to a different place, but we're still in E. Okay, so we're just going to do another form of the exact same scale, and this is for just those of you who don't know where things are at across the neck. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be playing on, I'm going to take you to the 7th fret of the A string, which is an E, so you got octaves. Again, look for my thumb, playing the low E string. So we're going fret numbers 7, 9, 11. Now everything else you may know. Now we're going to 9, 11 on the D string. Now we're back to the E note at 9th fret on the G string, 11 on the G string. So you have, now we're going to do on the B string 9, 10, 12. And on the high E string, we're going to do 9, 11, 12. Now the cool part about this, to play backward also so backward. Okay, now to actually start making music is to play forward and backward forward and halfway through it, part of the way through it, and then back up just a little bit and go forward just a little bit. Now right there, I just went ahead and stopped in midair. Okay. Sounds great. Okay, so I'm actually doing a 6th. Okay, because it's part of it, as we just did. Same thing as we did here. Okay, so we're just ending on a 6th, and that's putting you up in a space again. So stop on the ones that aren't normal. The low E, so we go E, now the next note we can stop. It just adds more of a mystery type of thing. And again, it's ethereal, hangs up in the sky. People's ears don't know where you're going next, but they really, really wonder because nothing sounds resolved. Then you can do something that resolves it. But if you want to hang them in the air again, so you have hanging in the air. That's hanging in the air again with your 6. You're hanging in the air again with your suspended 4. There's your 5. It sounds normal. There's your 6. It's out in space. And your major 7. Or you can complete it by going up to the E. Okay, so it's up to you to decide what to play. Those are a couple positions you can use. It's always nice to build around like a D-shaped chord. So if you have D, move it up 2 frets. Put your pinky down on the 5th fret on the high E, and all the way up to the 7th fret. So you can do the low E. By stopping there on the 7th fret of the B, we did a suspended second, again leaving people up in the air. When we used our pinky, now it sounds a little more refreshing because it's something that we've been going through, so now it sounds more palatable. Okay. And when you decide to resolve on something, if you do, you have either this one here or this one here. Okay. So you see what I'm talking about with leaving things exposed in the air, which don't sound exactly nice, leaving your thing exposed in the air. Now A is going to be the same thing, but you have to deal with the tuning of the B string, but that's part of it. Okay, so you have your A, then you have your A on the 2nd fret of the G string. Again, 4th fret of the G string, 6th fret. And then we get to go up to 5th fret on the B, 7th fret. Okay, we can go up to the 4th fret on the high E for our major 7, and finally on the 5th fret. And of course we can go 2 and 4 on the D string. So we have using nothing but what I showed you. I'm sure you can see that and figure out what's going on. But the reason we're here, to leave those things hanging out in the wind. Again, I'm just up 2 frets from the A, so that's our 2nd. Okay, there's our 6th. Okay, again, the 2 and then the 6 will always be right above it for those cool choices that were the basis of the beginning demonstration. It just has that certain something that separates that sound from the expected. Okay, and also in A, doing exactly what we did by moving it up to the 7th fret. So the 7th fret on the D string. Here it gets a little different, but we are going to use that D-shaped chord, which will be at 9, 9, and 10 on the B string. Okay, now you can use the open D because it's a suspended 4, and that's one of those that hang out in the wind. But for now, and we're going to go up 2 frets, You have your your D. If you're going to the D thing, it'll be going up there. But while we're in A, again, 7, 9, 11. Okay, we're going to the G string, going 9, 11. And then 10 on the B string. Okay, that's 12 on the B. Okay, there's 9 on the high E. 10. There's 12. So we have the by adding the pinky, we're putting the suspended fourth in there. Acting as, again, another note that's just hanging out there in the air. But it sounds breathy and not expected. Great note, suspended fourth, to end a song on. A lot of people do it. And again, it just sounds open, breathy, and unexpected. Even though it's been used so many times, it never gets old. So we can sit there and play all this stuff, the same notes that I just showed you. Okay, we got our A, and then our A again at the 7th fret on the D string. Okay, the other notes I played that were not shown. Okay, the 6th fret on the G string is the same as, which I did show you. The only one that wasn't on there was the 7th fret on the G. It was elsewhere. Okay, so ending up on the E note is expected. What's not expected is ending up on the F sharp note. Stopping there on that B is not expected, but it's a cool choice of notes. It's just exactly what I'm teaching here. It's just simply options that aren't expected. Okay? If you want to do the A thing, simply up there, we got the A on the G string 2nd fret. And you do the 2 frets on the 2 frets again. You can do that too on the B string, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 7th. Now the 4th fret, which is your major 7, which is one not to take lightly. Use it now and then because it's cool. And then ending on finally your A. Okay, again the A, major 7. I'm still hanging up in the air with the F sharp there. That's the 6th. So you have the major 7 and the 6th that I used. And to finally resolve it, now there's something else that's cool to just toss out there. If you end on a note, any note, like we ended on an open E there, is to slide up to another of the same note but on a different string. Same octave, same everything, it just sounds kind of cool. Okay, so you can see how that's cool. And playing around in there. Okay, we're stopping there on the suspended second. And again, it just depends on you, what you're trying to create. But again, the same old melodies, which are fine. Okay, it's the notes that you're not resting on are the ones to just kind of try and see if they lend themselves at all. Give them a chance. Check them out, listen to them good. I think it sounds great. Just put it in with the others. Okay, we don't stop on that one normally, but give it a chance. Give peace a chance. Okay, the D string, which will be the last one I go through. The same type of stuff. Okay. Will be what I go through. Let's do it backwards. Let's start with the D string with our thumb. Okay, so we're going all the way up to the 10th fret of the high E. And we've already got things settled here, going from 10, 9, 7, then 10, 8, 7, then 9, okay, there was no open D string for me to play, but you can go get the D here if you want to. And that was just something kind of cool that I like to play. Okay, so that was and that's what's called chromatic, forward and backwards. So that was 7, 8, 9, 9, 8, 7. Okay, so in D, that's a suspended 4. This is just playing forwards what we did backwards. Okay, so I went to A there. That's a given. That's not a given, that's your 6. That's the 2. What sounds good again is passing that 2 up, going up to the 3, which is going from 7th fret, 9th fret, 11th fret, and passing back and passing the thing. having a melody that you come up with and stopping on any suspended note, but the one we passed a couple times, still played it, but never landed on it, was the second. Here's the first, your 1, your 2, your 3. Just see if you like it. That's the 4, again, one that just hangs out in the air. Again, if you're going to pick a 5th or a 3rd, the normal ones, hang on a note that is not expected to be hung on to for a while, even if you're going to resolve it. Okay, I did just a little tease of the one thing where I said if you hit one note to slide into another note that's the same. I did both the same on the same string. It just gave it a little something. So okay, I just did a little half step, even though I stopped on that D. Or you could be aware of where your 5 is on the same string. Or just go down to the 5. You still got the low D ringing. Okay, so I hope that helps out with some stuff, how to just play along with yourself. A great way to manage all this is to play in the key of A. Okay, so you're playing in A. The typical 3-chord thing is going to be A, D, A, E, so it's those 3 chords. So that's a perfect way to do things. I'll make something up on the spot. Okay, so going from A to D, back to A to E, back to A to D, back to A to E, will allow you to try all of these things and do it at any speed that sounds groovy to you. Again, that's the best way of being able to come up with all of these choices and still play something that sounds like a song, is to play those 3 open strings in that order. Okay, so the notes that I showed you weren't for naught. They were actually planned to eventually give you something you can actually play along with, and that's your open strings. Nothing is better for that. And if you're doing acoustic or electric, doesn't matter, I find that the abundance of reverb really just adds something. It's just not so dry. If it's dry, I'll just play the acoustic like this. Boring. Okay, so hope you dug it. I'm out of here. Just happy picking, and it's an old Washburn. It's not the Woodstock, it's the Monterey model from back in the 80s. Groovy X. For those who wanted to know, just two little knobs up there. Great axe. Okay, so happy playing to y'all, and as we are still in the middle of the COVID thing, and it's about time for Thanksgiving in the USA. Everybody have a happy gobble gobble. We'll talk to you later.